All right, and then we're on.
Love that.
It's
Nothing like Charlie Manson dancing. I love that shit.
it's shorter. I would eventually, like I'll cycle through songs. Just right now, I'm just using that one from an old demo of mine or my old band, and then I for some reason was like, dude, I want to I love that fucking Mozart track. It's a classic, and then all classic music is there's no copyright, so that worked out. It used to be that recording of I have that recording of my old friend talking about how we can be more than friends, and it's a hilarious recording. But I was just like, fuck it, I don't want to I don't even fucking talk to this guy. I really don't really want to have that be the intro for my fucking YouTube channel. So I just was like, fuck, we're putting Mozart in there. I also I like the randomness for some reason. Like it's just Mozart, and then it's just some bullshit.
Love it. Love it.
So what topics did you bring to the table today?
Okay, I'm gonna go just because I have to do the screen sharing for this. So the two things I told Mark, I have two things that I specifically want to show him. One just got posted today by Tom O'Neill. He's the author who wrote the book Chaos, which is basically what's popularized the bullshit like MK Ultra, Charlie Manson theory. So obviously that's not the theory that I'm down with. It's an entertaining book, though. I think Tom O'Neill's done some cool stuff. But he posted a picture today, and it's a part 2 of a topic from last week about people marrying people in prison. So we talked about the girl that was engaged to Charles Manson in prison. Her name is Afton Burton. I think it's Afton Burton. Her name is also Star. She goes by Star, or she did go by Star. So she's apparently dating an actor today. I think it's like Vincent Gallo or something. And Vincent Gallo posted some pictures of what he was up to. And he posted this picture of his girlfriend, who is Afton Burton. And she is, hold on, let me pull it up. There she is.
That's her.
Yeah.
Holy shit. She's wearing a fucking Trump hat.
That's her at the Republican National Convention.
That is fucking crazy.
Right?
Wow. Obviously, everybody knows this, right?
Wait, so who exactly is she?
She's Charlie Manson's girlfriend or wife that he married in
prison. She looks so young, though.
They were engaged. This was like late 2010s.
Engaged. But that's crazy. Dude, she gives off Eileen Wuornos vibes. She gives off those eyes, those cold fucking dark eyes. Does she not? Like
I think she's like a relatively, she's probably obviously pretty eccentric, but from what I know about her, she's just like a fairly normal, like she's never done shit wrong. She's
well, he looks like him. Have you seen him? I'm looking at pictures of Vincent Gallo on
let me see
Google, and then like there's a couple photos where he has the long hair and a beard, and it's like maybe she has a pattern.
Oh yeah, I see it now, dude. I'm surprised. I don't know if the mainstream media has got a hold of that, because the Democrats will be like, Charlie Manson ex-lover at RNC, Trump loves Charlie Manson. Something crazy like that.
I totally agree. That's what would happen. I don't think it will, just because
that's crazy.
Most people, the Manson circles on the internet are a pretty niche circle. It's a big circle. There's a lot of people, but it's still fairly niche. But the two things about that make me laugh are, one, I can say personally that back when my Instagram was actually kind of on a roll, there were people that would get into arguments in my comment sections on the Manson interview post, and they would argue about, Manson would totally be a Trump guy because Trump's a fucking psycho, or no, Manson would totally be a Biden guy because Biden's fucking retarded. And it was always pathetic watching people argue about Trump or Biden on post of fucking Charlie Manson. And then two, another thing that gets brought up in comments when this stuff gets brought up is if Manson would be a Trump guy or a fucking Kamala or Biden guy, the real and obvious answer is that he wouldn't like any of them. He just wouldn't like modern politicians. The last politician I've ever really heard him talk about that he liked was fucking George Washington. And he loved George Washington. He fucking loves that's another one of those kind of like not secret, but like lesser known fun facts about Manson is that he was a huge history buff. Like he hated Abraham Lincoln. He was one of those people that think Abraham Lincoln was actually like a damn near treasonous president and like handled everything wrong, but loves George Washington, loves those old war stories and shit like that. Talks
Did
about
you?
talks about his Confederate sword in the kitchen and all that type of shit. But there's an interview with him, or not an interview with him. There's a guy that I followed on the Instagram, and he was friends with Manson, and he posted a clip of a recording of a phone conversation with Manson. And this is one of those moments where, when people talk about like there's these two people that were alive at the same time that kind of freak you out. Like everyone talks about like Martin Luther King Jr. and Anne Frank were alive at the same time, and that kind of makes you think it's weird. Or like Rosa Parks, what's her name? Rosa Parks, I think.
Yeah.
She was alive for the first 2 Shrek movies, and people are like, "Oh, that's weird."
What?
It's also it's weird to think about how Manson was around for Donald Trump's first campaign. And he was talking about, he made a comment on the phone about how he said something funny about it. He's like, this guy Donald Trump, he wants to build a wall, but he doesn't even know where the border actually is. And like, I thought that was hilarious. But no, the obvious answer is that Manson just wouldn't like politicians and didn't like politicians. But it is, dude, when I saw this picture, I was like, dude, I gotta show this. This is hilarious.
That is so fucking crazy. Yeah. The minute she pulled it up, I knew exactly who she was. That's crazy. So yeah, wait. I mean, I'm sure it'll eventually come out and they'll use that against them. Like,
of course,
ex killer, baby killer, Charles Manson, even though we know he never killed anybody, but they'll use it like some crazy thing. And of course, she's got the Trump hat just chilling. This chick's got like a crazy life. I'd love to get her on here. Imagine. Shit, she's a nobody. Be like, yeah, we'll give you a couple $100. Come on here and talk with us.
I think she'd be, well, first of all, I don't have I mean, what kind of money are you rolling in that you're willing to pay guests?
I got $200 on Charlie's ex.
No, realistically, if I was gonna pay any guest to come on, I would for sure pay her.
Right.
You know what's funny is I am not gonna say how, because I'm not gonna get into like people's names and shit, but I'm pretty sure I would at least have a shot at asking her from the old page based on some people that I've talked to. But I also struggle with that because I would like to have, there's a certain guy on that I'm thinking of right now. I don't think he would want to show himself just because based off of how he's gone about the subject in the past. He doesn't really care to show his face, but he'll talk, it seems like. But I always have to remember that I'm kind of like a fucktard. Like I'm talking about like our whole last like 2 streams ago, we talked about shit and sex and drugs, and then so then for me to go to these people who have like serious spiritual beliefs and like would rather talk about like the spirituality of like, connecting with fucking wolves in the desert and shit, I'd feel like I like am insulting them to be like, hey, do you want to come on? And so I do want to do some serious shit at some point just to prove that I can do both sides of the coin.
Hey, I don't mean to digress, but I want to say this before I lose thought of it. You brought up Charlie Manson not liking Abe Lincoln. Did you know Abe Lincoln was like closet fag? Did you know that?
I don't believe that.
Yes.
What? I was like,
I fucking believe it.
I don't believe it.
I believe it. So real quick.
What proof is there? That was like
it's a big
years ago.
It's a big thing.
Mary Todd Lincoln wrote it in her fucking diary. She suspected him of being gay. So real quick, we're gonna. This is great that we're keeping this like topic
wait,
of like.
Before you say one more word, did you guys post this to your Instagram stories?
I did.
No,
yes.
we're on a roll. We're on a roll here. Post it after the stream.
People need to hear this conversation. It's
post the link after the stream is done. We also need more plays on the back end.
So all right. So Mary Todd Lincoln, right? This is historical proof in her diary. She writes, "I came home from whatever washing the clothes down by the river, and fucking she comes in and dude, Abe has the fucking one of the like altar boys for their church or some shit on his shoulders naked, and he's painting the ceiling." Right? He's on Abe's fucking shoulders because he's a tall guy. He's naked painting the ceiling. And she's like, Abe, what the fuck, dude? He's like, oh, he just didn't want to get any paint on his clothes. And he's like, well, why are you still have clothes on? You know what I mean? That was an instance. Then she wrote that she caught him sleeping with the butler like 3 different times. Like he's just like, oh, it's just warm in here. Yeah. So weird shit, right? But the night I found that out, I was fucking hammered, and we were at the bar, and I just was going, "Lincoln's a fag, Lincoln's a fag," like screaming it. Dude, I swear his ghost came and fucking haunted me because that night I broke my leg, like fucked up, drunk, broke my leg, had to go to the hospital. I don't know. Lincoln's gay, though.
Dude, I don't. Well, first of all, I gotta say, I really don't care one way or the other, only because I have started going down this rabbit hole of Lincoln being a worse guy than, like, you know, the mainstream likes to portray him as. So his favorability with me has gone down significantly. I do think he handled all that shit totally wrong. The Civil War was not about fucking slavery, like everyone think, you know.
Right.
It's not the whole deal. I'm still not super educated on this whole fucking deal, but just from the little bit I've seen, there's a guy I listen to, and he's talked about it, how you know, the main point of it from what I've gotten out of it so far, and there's a lot more to it. But
It's my buddy from New Jersey, because he knows he's saying gay in Italian. Sorry.
Every topic we talk about, I'm gonna change the title of the live stream.
Fanoico.
Or I'm gonna add
Abe
to it.
Lincoln gay?
Dude, I've told
We
him
question
this.
this. There is a whole Wikipedia page called "The Sexuality of Abraham Lincoln."
Yeah, dude, but I'm telling you, Mary Todd, she knew what was up. She was an ugly looking lady, though. I mean, maybe he was into dudes. I don't know.
That's a good point. He just found the manliest looking woman he could find. But
anyway, sorry for that segue, but like when I broke my leg that night, I was like, yo, Abe Lincoln from the grave came and was like, don't worry about my sexuality, motherfucker.
No,
like,
this is perfect. I got the title right now at the stream is Manson's ex-fiance, a Trump gal, and is Abe Lincoln gay? There's no more clickbait. Nothing is more clickbaitier than that. But the main thing that I've taken away from all the people that talk about Lincoln not being the great guy that everyone acts like he is you know, just however many years prior, people came to America or to North America from England because they no longer wish to be governed by England. Then all of a sudden the South wants to secede and not be governed by North America. And then it's like, well, no, we can't have that. And it's like, that's like what the country's built on. Like, you can only be governed if you want to, if you choose to be governed by, you know. So and then on top of that, there's another guy I listened to. He was like, no, the right choice Abe Lincoln should have made was he should have let the South secede, because there's a great chance that within 50 years they would have come crawling back anyways. Like, they would not have, you know, they
didn't have the resources. They didn't have the resources.
Okay, so I'm reading, I mean, it's Wikipedia. You can't really truly trust it. But I found something interesting where they actually documented his sex life because he's the president. And it says that male historians suggest that the Lincoln's sex life ended around 1853 after their son Tad's difficult birth, and that Mary, she had a prolapsed uterus, which would have prevented intercourse in the 1850s. And so they slept in separate bedrooms.
Weird.
So
then he switched teams, dude. He's like,
I mean, I feel like that's a bit extreme. Like, he could have just had sex with another woman, but
well, so
right.
my big issue with it is that I think it's a documentary is either coming out or it's just come out, and it's, of course, it's one of these fucking one of these like modern day mainstream left wing like pieces where they, you know, how the left wing needs everybody to be gay just in order to, you know, get their point across or whatever. So they're coming out with a documentary that's all about Abraham Lincoln being gay, and like one of their biggest pieces of evidence, which, Mark, your piece of evidence was way more solid than this. The piece of evidence that they bring forward is that Abraham Lincoln apparently had a really good friend who was a dude, and he used to write him letters, and these letters would they say things like, I miss you, I'm so lonely without you, I love you. And it's like,
I think it's this guy Joshua Speed.
Yes, that is it.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, I've said I love you to friends before. Like, are we gay? Like, I've never messaged a guy friend him and like, I'm lonely without you, but I've said things along those lines.
But, okay, so it says here, However, Lincoln continued sleeping in a bed with Speed for several years.
Yeah.
Okay,
weird.
so a point to that. There's a guy that I was listening to. He was counter arguing against this as proof, as of evidence that Abraham Lincoln was gay, and he was saying that, dude, back in those days, everybody was dirt poor. So like half the time when you went to check into a motel, what that could mean is that they're gonna put you in a room with another guy with one bed because that's just the resources they had.
Yeah, well, I believe that.
But like I said, Mark, the evidence you brought up is that like a fucking naked kid on Abe's shoulders is way more. So I don't want to side with like the mainstream.
So that's what it says here. However, in 19th century America, it was not necessarily uncommon for men to bunk up with other men briefly if there were no other sleeping arrangements available.
Like,
So yeah, it was common. Yeah, exactly what Rob just said.
In
You
the
know,
Gettysburg-
guys slept with other guys because there were only so few beds available.
easy excuse, Lincoln. But you know, like the Gettysburg Address was originally 7 cocks ago.
So yeah, that's funny. That, like I said, I don't want to go along with this like
Wait,
mainstream
ho-
bullshit. But Mark, that's a good
Yeah.
story. And if sweet old Mary Todd is writing this herself, I'm not going to argue with her.
But it also
Pretty
says,
crazy.
nevertheless, these sleeping arrangements did provide opportunities for eroticism.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
you're waking up, you know, you're spooning your buddy because you know it's too cold outside, and you wake up with a piss boner in your ass. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's like it's a hell. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
Yeah, no,
Look at Annie's face. She's just like,
I bet a lot of stuff happened. I mean, just
Okay.
based off of that.
I love this sentence. It says, they suggest that the Lincoln Speed relationship fell within a 19th century category of intense, romantic, man-to-man friendship with erotic overtones.
sounds like one of the books you read.
I was going to say
I
you
know,
should write a
it
book about
sounds
this.
like, yeah, it almost sounds like a cologne or a perfume, like erotic overtones for
You
a man to
should write an Abraham Lincoln smut book is what you should do.
God.
Lincoln's gay. The Scent for Men.
You know what? I just picked up that book, like Abraham Lincoln, the Vampire Killer, or something like that. I don't know what it's about. I just got it.
There's a great movie. I love
They
the
made a movie about that.
Did they? Okay, I'll have to.
I've always wanted to kind of rip off the premise. Well, it sucks because that premises has already been told in a book and in a story, and then Rob Zombie also stole the second coolest one. So there was the Abraham Lincoln hunting vampires, like vampires were in the Civil War, and he had 2 silver bullets to kill them. And then Rob Zombie did Werewolves of the SS. Even though he only did the trailer, to me, this is like one of the greatest cinematic what ifs of my life. I really wish we could have got that movie because there's nothing cooler than a movie made by Rob Zombie where Hitler turns women into werewolves and uses them to fight in World War II. So I've always wanted to write some story about some kind of monster being involved in one of the big wars, but I don't know what war, because Civil War and World War II are the 2 coolest wars. That's just fact. They are the 2 coolest wars to exist. And then vampires and werewolves are probably like the 2 coolest monsters to use.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what else to do, but Abraham Lincoln as a vampire hunter is a cool story just on its own.
I love the title. Manson's ex-fiance Trump guy is a Lincoln gay. You're the king of like the creative like fucking caption.
It sucks because I'm gonna have to add another topic to that title once we get going, but I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to take away any of those 2. Those have to stay. It's such a perfect title all on its own.
Pulls you right in.
All right, I'm gonna pull this off. Let's get back to just us. I have one more. I don't know if you guys want to do that right now. It's a totally different topic.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I found this video on Twitter, and it's only, let me see if I can actually do this right. All right, yeah. So it's somebody made an edit of The Silence of the Lambs as a rom-com.
Oh
And
no.
they actually did it really well. It sucks that I can't make the screen bigger, but can you guys at least see what's going on?
Yeah, I can see
Good
Jody.
job.
All right, let me All right, so yeah, they did it perfectly. It's only like 2 minutes, so I'm just gonna let it roll the whole thing.
A good job, FBI agent. Get to travel around and stuff.
Sometimes you do.
You know, we get a lot of detectives here, but I must say I can't ever remember one as attractive.
I graduated from UVA, doctor, and it's not a charm school.
Clarice Starling wants nothing more than to make it at the FBI. But so far, turning heads is easier than getting ahead.
Jobs come up, and I thought about you. Not a job, really, more of an interesting errand.
Who's the subject?
The psychiatrist Hannibal Lecter.
Now, her new assignment might be biting off more than she can chew.
Crawford's very clever using you, pretty young woman.
Dr. Lecter, my name is Clarice Starling. May I speak with you?
You know what you look like to me with your good bag and your cheap shoes? You look like a rube.
Perhaps you'd care to lend us your view on this questionnaire, sir. Did you do all these drawings, Doctor? All that detail just from memory, sir?
Memory, Agent Starling, is what I have instead of a view. I tell you things, you tell me things. Not about this case, though. About yourself.
Are you hitting on me, Doctor?
What you're doing, Miss Starling, is coming into my hospital to conduct an interview and refusing to share information with me for the third time.
People will say we're in love.
Maybe you can decide for yourself whether or not I'm qualified enough to do that.
Just do your job, but never forget what he is.
And what is that?
Jack Crawford is helping your career, isn't he? Apparently he likes you, and you like him too.
I never thought about it.
Your first lie to me, Clarice.
Jodie Foster
You fly back to school now, little Starling.
and Anthony Hopkins in the most romantic movie of the year.
Oh, Clarice, your problem is you need to get more fun out of life.
The Silence of the Lambs.
No, it's
That's
perfect.
hilarious. That is put together so well. I love the part where it's the true scene is Miggs throws cum at her through the fucking prison, and she's like this. They show that like she's just like blushing, but meanwhile she has like cum on her face. Like that's fucking hilarious.
I loved when she runs up to him and behind the window.
Yeah, he's like, I can smell your cunt. He throws it at her, dude. That's a brutal fucking scene.
I didn't watch the whole thing yet, but I watched some of the scenes again. I'm already getting the feeling that, because I already told Mark the reason I want to do it is because he loves it and I wasn't too big of a fan of it. But I'm already starting to realize that I think I'm probably going to like it more on the second watch through.
Amazing film.
I have mixed opinions.
One of the reasons I kind of remember not liking it so much, and this is, I'm not trying to compare the two, but I don't always love like police procedural horror movies. So like the Saw movies, I got very tired of very quickly. And then the movie Seven. Seven's okay, but I don't love it. I'm very weird and picky about when it comes to like cops and FBI agents in my horror movies. To me, authority, like cops and FBI agents, to me in horror movies, those guys represent like hope, and I don't like to feel hope in my horror movies. I look for like the sense of hopelessness. So like in House of a Thousand Corpses, there are 2 cop characters, but they're not in there all that often, and they get killed pretty quick. So it's like, oh, okay, this is fucking hopeless. Like once the cops die, that's when I get into it. But like I said, after watching a couple scenes of it, I was like, okay, I could get into this a lot more. Like I watched the scene where he escapes from prison, Hannibal Lecter, and I was like, oh, this is great when he wears the guy's face, and like that's how he gets out. And so I do think I'll like it more on another watch through. I just haven't watched it in a long time.
I just think the dialogue between him and Jodie Foster is like phenomenal, dude. Like you can't put a better dialogue between 2 characters in any movie. Like he's just so smart-witted. Anthony Hopkins just kills that role. And I don't know if you've ever seen, or maybe you, Annie, since you've seen the movie before, or Silence of the Lambs, but it's called Manhunter. And it's like a book way before Silence of the Lambs. It's the same author, but in the original movie, like Anthony Hopkins was not the original Hannibal Lecter. It was some other actor, and he does not do it as good. So if you compare the 2, you could really appreciate Anthony Hopkins' performance over this other guy who's like a British guy.
I'm going to look that up. That sounds interesting. Jodie Foster, I'm assuming you guys have seen Taxi Driver.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she was the prostitute. Yeah.
We should do Taxi Driver at some point.
We should totally do that. That is one of my favorite movies up there, top 5.
Dude,
Absolutely.
it's 70s, the 70s is honestly probably my favorite. It's the best for like Grindhouse. It's the best. All of them look great. Like I love all the Claudia Jennings films. I fucking, Taxi Driver is great. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We just talked about that. I really think the 70s, and that's kind of a hard toss up for me because I also really love the early 80s slashers. House on Sorority Row, My Bloody Valentine, Graduation Day. Those are like my absolute favorites. But at the same time, I always kind of argue that early 80s is kind of just like an extension of the 70s. Like usually the decades don't actually become the decade we know them as until like the middle. So like the 80s don't become the 80s that we think of until like 85. There's some rare exceptions where like the 90s, right? Like the alternative rock scene kicks off in like 89 into the early 90s. And then the 90s is a weird one because it becomes like NSYNC and Britney Spears, like in like the end of the 90s. The 60s is also weird because you think of the 60s, you think of hippies. Hippies weren't until late 60s. When in the early 60s, you had like boys and girls going to make out lanes and like going to soda pop dates and like sweet little old Betty Lou Jensen and some kid, and like that's most decades they don't become their defining decade until the middle of them at least. So I try to make the excuse for myself where I say that early 80s is just like late 70s movies. A lot of people say like, oh, what's your favorite decade as far as cinema goes? And I think I have it down pretty specifically. I think it's 1974 through 1984. Like I don't even say 70s or 80s. It's 74 through 84 is like pretty much when most of my favorite movies are in. That was a long rant to say that, yeah, we should do fucking Taxi Driver sometime.
Yeah, no, that's such a good movie, dude. And like, I don't know about you, but like when I first saw that, I was younger, and like, you're younger teenager, like pissed off at the world. And then you meet Travis Bickle and you're like, holy shit, I have so much in common with this guy. Cause you look around and the world's just shit and the people are shit. And he really felt that, like, especially in the 70s when like New York was falling apart and it was gritty and it was, disgusting. And he was just so fed up with the world. I don't know, growing up, and you feel those kind of things. And then you see that, you're like, man, I could kind of relate to Travis Bickle in a lot of ways. Also, fun fact about that movie before we move on, the guy that he confides in, who's another taxi driver, he meets him in the diner, the old guy. That's fucking the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond. I don't know if you know that.
No, I never noticed that.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name. He plays in Young Frankenstein. He plays the monster. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do that. Okay, we'll get into whatever. I'm sure Annie has some shit, but before I'm done, the last thing I gotta do, only because I'm gonna clip this. I did get the new shirt, right? It's the fucking.
Oh shit!
You did? Oh my god!
That's badass,
dude. It's Callie Roses on a motorcycle, so it's a bodacious blonde babe on a bike. It's like all of the food groups you could ever need. So I can't wear it every stream, otherwise I'll have the fucking shirt behind me and the shirt that I'm wearing. But
that's sick.
She's got another cool shirt that I want to get. It's I can't remember exactly. I mean, it's obviously just her on the shirt, but I think the design is bigger. I want to change this one out, but this one, the design is a little bit smaller. Like the rectangle is kind of smaller, so I'll probably leave that as the background. But yeah, fucking it. It's a hot blonde girl on a bike. There was no way I was gonna pass up on it. So.
Oh yeah, she's hot as hell, and the motorcycle, perfect.
Yeah, you can't beat a babe on a bike.
So this could segue into Annie's story about prostitution in Paris.
I was going to make a comment earlier that I actually have a buddy that is friends with Anthony Hopkins.
What? In real life?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to describe what he does. He used to be like a roadie. I'll have to find out. He was a roadie back in the 90s for some big band. I'll find out which band. And then he has spent the past, I don't know how long, but he's a reseller, but he's not like just any reseller. He's like one of those resellers that's been on eBay like since they came out, and he sells like historical stuff. Like he sold a couple of years ago, he sold Stevie Nicks' hat to somebody. He deals in like that kind of memorabilia, but he also, from what he told me, is he knows Anthony Hopkins because he deals art to him.
He would be an art appreciating guy.
Yeah.
For sure. That's awesome. That's fucking cool, man. I would love to like pick his brain about like what he's like. They say he's super modest in real life, and like he gives a lot of money to charity. He's a big animal guy. Because I'll be honestly, like a lot of celebrities are just shitbags, and I really like most of the time I don't even give them the time of day to learn who they really are because they're usually superficial assholes. But like because I love Silence of the Lambs so much, I looked up like him personally, and apparently he's just a really good guy. So.
Well, I really liked him in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a good. Oh, he was a roadie for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, he's probably seen some shit.
Yes,
He's probably seen some shit.
He's probably seen a human being die.
and Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh,
he's definitely seen a human being die and be revived.
Yeah.
With Narcan.
Scott Weiland, man, what a tragedy.
And Poison.
Well,
and Poison. Okay, yeah, I'm just getting
so
all the
he's
text.
also seen a human being attain an STD like in real time.
I'm sure he has. Yeah.
Speaking of roadies, my uncle was a roadie for Ted Nugent and Judas Priest.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and he said that this was like before people knew Rob Halford was gay, and there'd be like girls literally like naked, like blowing crack smoke in each other's like assholes, and like Rob Halford's in the corner like all depressed, and they're like, dude, why aren't you getting with these chicks? And he's just like, I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. Like he's just doing pills, all depressed. Now come to find out he's gay. How did anybody not know with the assless chaps and shit?
You can't always say, look, Axl Rose always wore the assless chaps, or he used to.
True. So I guess at that time people were a little more, dumb to that.
Okay, a couple of things. I'm going to say on this quickly. So my friend that knows Anthony Hopkins, he says he just sold the original sheet music for the Wall album, handwritten.
That's
sick, the kind of stuff that he sells.
That's fucking sick.
Like,
how does he get his hands on that though?
He just knows people because he's been doing it for years and years. Like he'll buy something for $50,000 and then sell it for like a couple $100,000. Like that's the level of reselling. Where I'm like, you want to buy a pair of jeans for $50? Like no, he wants to resell like
you're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's the kind of level he's at. But yeah, no, in terms of Hollywood being gay, so I don't know like what I would call him. Like he was kind of like my uncle, but he had known my dad for 40 years. And so they were just like best friends, but I always looked to him as an uncle. He was the bass player for Wham, George Michael's Wham. And so Dion Estes, you could look him up. He passed away a couple of years ago, so I can say whatever I want. Dion's not around anymore. But I had asked Dion so many questions because, like George Michael was gay and like all that. And when that documentary came out a couple years ago about Michael Jackson, like having sex with those two boys, I asked Dion about it because Dion, was there during that time and witnessed stuff. And he told me he was like, everybody was fucking little boys back then. That's what he...
Even Abe Lincoln, fuck.
That's what he told me. I don't know.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
That's what, yeah. So, I don't know how much I can say on here. But
what time period was he saying?
This was in the 80s.
Okay. Well, that must have gone on for,
But he said it was like, from what he told me, it was just kind of like it was the 80s, and nobody batted an eyelash on what you did. It was kind of like, oh yeah, he's with him, okay, whatever.
Makes you wonder the shit that got thrown under the rug that people didn't make a big deal about then. That's disgusting, dude. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
no, it was just, I mean, yeah, it was the 80s. So, I mean, Dion never partook in that, but he told me that's like what he witnessed. So,
I mean, I think that shit obviously still goes on. Not,
yeah.
I mean, I think it's a different game now. But I mean, you ever think about even in like the early 2000s? You ever think about like, dude, all the shit like Fez from that 70s show dating Lindsay Lohan before she was 18 and everybody knew about it. No one cared. The singer of Good Charlotte,
Right.
I think it was the singer dating
Yeah.
Hillary Duff when she was like 16, 17.
Dude.
Nobody cared. Like
Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he names his fucking album Toys in the Attic. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's basically making fun of it. Like,
there's a rock band from the 70s I really like called UFO, and my favorite song by them is Rock Bottom. And the first line in that song is 17 and nature's queen. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, how the like
yeah, I guess this resonates to what you're talking about, Annie. Like, it was a different time period for sure.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't.
sorry,
No, go
what?
ahead. No,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say it's weird how, like I said, I'm sure this shit still goes on. It's just done differently. But back then, it was it was just kind of like a wink and a nod, and like everybody would just turn away. And it was weird how as recent as the early 2000s, everybody would turn. Because like I said, dude, Hillary Duff was on magazine covers with that fucking Good Charlotte guy. I love Good Charlotte.
Yeah, I thought they were so cool.
So-
I actually saw who's the one that's married to Nicole Richie.
The guitar player, I think.
Yeah,
The
a
brother.
couple years ago, I saw them at, if you know of that brand Cotton On, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
mall brand. I was at Cotton On at the mall here, and they came in, and it was them and then their kids, and they were just kind of shopping. And then I kept looking. I was like, wait, what? And then they kind of picked up on it, and they were kind of just like, we just want to shop. But I let them be. I didn't say anything, of course. But I think they're like accustomed to that, of course, of people staring. But I think what happened was like I was the first one to be like, oh my God, that's them. Because nobody else.
No, nobody. Like, now that's what I call Music 7.
Yeah.
Like, Good Charlotte. Like,
Yeah. No, I had all the Now CDs.
I had one. Let me look up the one I had. The one I had.
I remember like Now too.
The one that I had on CD was the one that had Bon Jovi's "It's My Life," and I loved that song. What's it called? Or
like
what number was it?
Kids Bop, where they changed the
Oh,
lyrics.
that was terrible. Oh my God. Who was buying that?
5. I had, now that's what I call music 5. And then I owned a Kids Bop album, so I don't want to fucking hear from any of you.
Did you really?
I think I had either the first, second, or third.
Did you purchase that or was it a gift?
It was probably from my mom. My mom is my mom is really encouraging of me getting into music, and yeah, I think it was the first one I had because I had Britney Spears on it, and my mom, she was funny because she always tried to walk that line. So like when I first got an iPod and I got iTunes, she was always like, "Oh, download the clean versions of songs," but she never checked. Apparently, according to my mom, at one time when her and my stepdad were getting together, we were in the car, and I was, a very young child, like before the age of 10. I'm bad with guessing what age I was during times, but she was telling me that "Rape Me" by Nirvana came on, and like one of the early arguments her and my stepdad got into was he was saying, "You can't let your kid listen to this shit," and my mom was like, "Oh no, he's fine, he likes it." I remember when I was also a young kid, "Bullet for My Valentine," they had an album, and on the album cover, if you guys have seen it, it's basically a naked girl laying on the ground, and there's a shadow of a guy opening a door, and the shadow is basically covering up from her tits to her vag. And I was like, "Dude, Mom, I really want the CD, but there's a naked girl on the cover of it." And my mom's like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. You like the music, so." But then at the same time, she would tell me to get the clean version and buy me a Kids Bop album. So she was always trying, she always tried to do like, if you can listen to Kids Bop and that suffices, then do it. But if you want the rock and roll shit, I'll get you the rock and roll shit. So
my parents were super strict, like very old school Italian, like very like it was like embarrassing how strict they were. And I'll never forget, like I was in like FYE and it was like Rob Zombie, past, present, future. I'm like this little kid. I'm like, I want this. And she just turns it around. She's like, what the you're out of your mind. Like, What do you think? I'm some kind of bad mother? I would never let you listen to this. And like, of course, I went out and like downloaded it on LimeWire. And I was like, this is awesome. Because if I'm not mistaken, I mean, the front cover is the awesome drawing of him with the, you know, as a zombie, but in the back, it's just two like girls with their tits out. What was I gonna say? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, most of his stuff is basically just fucking naked women and like dead things.
Who's Dragon Slayer?
I don't know. It's probably just someone that logged in to talk about the title of the video. Let me see what he says. Trump is the man of sin the Bible promises to banish.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh my god.
Oh, cool. We got a Bible guy. Says God prefers same-sex marriage.
What?
People are born that way.
What?
I'm Elijah, the forerunner to the return. Dude, this is awesome.
Who is this?
Elijah, my brother. Fake ministry is, or Malachi 3:8. Well, what a coincidence, because my name just so happens to be Malachi.
Malachi, the children upon the rose. Malachi.
Elijah, if that's actually your name, can I ask you,
What the fuck?
what do you, hold on. Okay, we got some good shit. Fake ministers all over the world know the natural disasters, wars, famines, etc. will get worse until they repent by returning the money and tell everyone they have God does prefer same-sex marriage. I've read.
What?
Jesus was transgender, absolutely. A female man returning as a female. This guy's typing really fast.
Dude, this guy's definitely smoking meth because all he saw was is Abe Lincoln gay, and he's just like rolling the bowl right now. He's like,
your wedding. If your wedding is, can we broadcast your wedding on this channel? Can we make that arrangement here? I want to broadcast your wedding live on this YouTube channel. Malachi is the last.
yeah, none of this is legitimate, by the way. Like,
no, I don't know what you're talking about. I read all this in the Bible just yesterday. I'll pull my Bible out right now. True people of God don't take money for the gospel. Money is my gospel. Money,
hey, we're getting more views at least. Hell yeah.
Please ask. I just asked, can we broadcast your wedding live on this YouTube channel? Dragon Slayer. Fuck, what were we just talking about?
I was gonna ask what Annie thought about fucking Michael Jackson and why people fucking defend him. But that's a deep hole to go down.
I mean, yeah, I always like to ask people, can you separate the artist from the art?
I can.
You can.
No, I'm almost probably, I'm probably like so good at it that it's like a negative implication on my God, this is going to be hard to like keep talking about this guy's going on. Okay, the messenger Malachi.
What is the title of this still? What is the title of this?
Oh, being told. Okay, well, if it's going to be broadcast all over the world, that means it's not copyright claimed, right? So I can broadcast your wedding here and not get in trouble. It's absolutely legitimate. Matthew 19:12. Let me pull up Matthew 19:12 right now on Google. I mean, I know it's not true, but I'm gonna pull it up just let's have some fun with this guy. Eunuchs are born that way. They're transgender. Michael Jackson. People defend Michael Jackson because of nostalgia, and
there's so much proof, dude.
I can separate art from the artist. Like I can listen to.
Yeah, me too, dude. Phenomenal musical artist, but. Dude, if you watch Leaving Neverland, like there's some undoubtable evidence.
Yeah, I mean, I can separate, but yeah, after I watched that, I was like, I can't really listen to him for like a hot minute because it was quite disturbing. But no, I 100% think it was all accurate.
Okay, so Matthew 19:12. That's a little bit hard. I need to know, what is a eunuch, because it says
this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about, bro.
But he does say that Michael Jackson.
No, I know he's not. I know this Bible stuff's not. I'm trying to,
definitely. At first, I thought this guy was joking, but he's dead 100% serious.
I cannot listen. I'm just trying to indulge the guy. I'm trying to have fun while we have a guy in the chat. My brother, you are typing way too fast.
You can listen, dude. You must have some good shards over there for
sure.
Like,
it's probably like copy paste.
He can't listen to Michael Jackson, but he can listen.
He can listen to Kanye West.
Can't do Michael Jackson, but can do Kanye West. I respect the honesty. I can listen to anybody. I don't care. I mean, I listen to fucking, I'm sure Richard Ramirez would have made some tight music if he played guitar.
I gotta take a picture of this shit. Send it to him.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, so Matthew 19:12 says, "For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have been made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven." Okay, I need to. What is a eunuch, though? That's the problem here.
It's like I just know they talk about them in like Greek philosophy.
Dragon Slayer.
Oh.
Do you think Abraham Lincoln was gay?
A eunuch is a castrated male.
Yeah.
Or men that are unable to reproduce. But a castrated male that's not a transgender, that's a castrated male. You could be a castrated male and still be a man. You can broadcast my wedding. My information is free of charge. Cool. Okay, well, let me know when the wedding is. We gotta be here live for this wedding.
It's the Assyrians. Okay, so I used to study ancient Egypt, and with the ancient Assyrian art, they put eunuchs in there.
Hold up, you guys. Keep this going. Let me go grab a book really quick. I wanna talk to this guy for a second.
I got nothing to say.
Say something, Mark.
So I assume you're a homosexual male, Dragon Slayer, or a transsexual male, or a female. Now you stop talking.
Okay.
I guess you got to reload that poll there. This is like the most bananas shit. So what do you identify yourself as? Like, are you male, female? Are you the guy from Children of the Corn, Malachi?
I can't find.
You're not answering any of my questions, though. I'd love to chat with you, but you're not answering anything I'm asking.
I can't find the. Hold on, wait. Male. Oh, he's getting into this stuff now. Male or female is determined by gender located in the soul.
I asked if he was male or female or transgender or what.
Okay, yeah. So what are you? What is located in your soul? Honestly, I have a hard time listening to Kanye West as well.
We said that like minutes ago.
You're typing too fast.
Bro. Don't hold the flame too close to the bowl because you'll burn it.
Do you listen to the fake gospel music? Or to fake? What is fake gospel music? I have this. I couldn't find my my book, the 72 Demons book by Aleister Crowley, but I did find. I found my copy of the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey, but I think Anton LaVey is kind of a poser. The more I've gotten into him, the more I've learned that he was kind of a like people call him like a beginner, like an entry level guy. Like he was just kind of a circus sideshow. So I don't really think there's anything cool in here to. They're not castrated men. It says right inside the book of Deuteronomy that nobody. I have my Bible. I have a Bible. It's deeper on my bookshelf. I don't have time to find it right now.
I don't know what this guy's trying to say, but Annie has a good story about prostitution in Paris. That's pretty good story.
Do you have more to add to what this person is
Yeah,
saying?
unless you want to still talk to this guy.
I don't know.
Well, this is clearly gonna be a never-ending thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Abraham Lincoln, whether he was gay or not, was. But okay, buddy, we just want to know what are you like? What are you in your soul? So
this is somebody that probably jumps on random streams and just spews this stuff.
I'm telling you, it's like copy paste.
Yeah, I love interacting with people, but this is not.
It's definitely the title of the stream that I chose about Abraham Lincoln being gay and the Trump thing. His first comment was about Trump.
Hey, we got at least an extra view.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is gonna pop up on engagements and shit.
What are you talking about?
If you got a lesson from anyone that sold gospel, you were lied to on purpose.
We gotta ignore this guy now.
So
we were going so good too.
Well, I mean, we can change the title.
No,
I think it's great.
You want to keep it?
I think it's such a good title.
The title is perfect.
Just let this guy rant, and we're not even gonna pay attention to him.
Well, if he says if you're gonna hang out here, Elijah, I think that's tight. I like you. You're cool. I think you're eccentric. I am a woman that is a male. Here's the answer to our question. I am a woman that is male and so what is and gender? Okay, so if you want to hang out here and listen to us and keep typing, that's cool. If you say some shit that's relevant to what we're saying, I'll pop it up on the screen.
I am a woman that is male. In gender?
Well, just give me a date for the wedding. That's all I want to know. Put in a date. When is this wedding going to be? I will broadcast it here live on YouTube. Who are you marrying? Are you marrying a man or a woman? I'm very excited for you guys. I will send you.
A trans man?
Yeah, you could even come on here and talk if you want to be interesting, but you got to answer questions.
I will send you a gift for your wedding. I would love if you want to invite me, dude. I'll be the ring guy. I'll carry the ring. I'll walk up the aisle for
Lock
you.
ring.
Yeah, dude. I will be there. I'll get on a plane tomorrow. What time is it? 6:50? Yeah, we still got some time. What's the prostitutes in Paris?
Oh yeah. So, oh gosh, what's this? Okay, I have to disagree with that because as someone who studies past lives and magic, I will say that when your soul enters a new body, you have different genders. So in some lives you were male and some you were female. I don't think the soul has a specific sex or gender. But anyways, yes, so I was going to talk about, I don't even know how to pronounce this. I sent a article that Vice wrote a couple of years ago to Mark. There's this forest in Paris. It's on the outskirts of Paris. I can't speak French. I would say it's like Bois, B-O-I-S-D-E, and then Bois de Boulogne. I think that's how you say it. I'm sure I didn't say it right. But anyways, on the outskirts of Paris, there's this giant forest and park. And within it, I don't know why, but prostitutes have congregated in the forest. I think, is prostitution legal in France? Did we know that?
Out.
Okay.
I would
well,
imagine,
anyways,
honestly.
There's prostitutes among the forest. They just are like in there.
It's legal.
Okay, yeah. So they're in the forest, and people can go to the forest if they, want to get their, get some fun going on. So anyways, I had read that article years ago and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. But aside from that, there's this chateau that's nearby, and it's called Bagatelle, and it's this old chateau that nobody really cares for, but I had seen pictures of it online for years, and it has like beautiful gardens. Anyways, what is it? Okay, so anyways, my ex was French, and I went to France with him one time, and I told him that I wanted to go see this chateau. And so he was like, okay, like we're going to like, we didn't have a car because we were traveling there. So we took a train and an Uber. And so the Uber dropped us off at the edge of this forest. And I had no idea that the chateau was in this prostitution forest. So we get dropped off and we're walking, and all of a sudden there's this girl wearing no clothes sitting on a branch. And I'm like, what?
Was she hot?
Like, they're French, so I don't know.
Well, I hear that and I say yes.
Like,
but
I mean, you would probably think they're attractive. Anyways, so I'm like walking, and it's a big fucking forest. Like where the Uber dropped us off, we had like a 15-minute walk to the park. And so we're walking, all of a sudden I see this woman, she's like sitting on a branch, and I'm like, what? And then like my ex says to me, like, oh yeah, like there's prostitutes in the forest. And then I put two and two together, and I'm like, oh my God, this was that forest that Vice had wrote about. And it just so happens to be by this chateau that I've always wanted to see. So we're walking, and it's getting worse and worse, because all of a sudden they're just like, there's hundreds of them. They're in the bushes, they're on the trees, they have like tents set up. But then it gets funny because you're seeing these girls just kind of like standing. Some of them are just in bikinis or lingerie, and some of them are just naked, just standing like in a bush. But then it would be funny because you're walking, and then because it's a very thick forest. So out of a fucking bush, you'll see a guy in a 3-piece suit like walk out, like just fixing his tie.
He just got his dick sucked, and he's just like.
I was like, oh my god.
So wait, there was like how many women were around, like, and are they fucking out in the open?
Probably behind like a tree or
so
something.
so what they do is like, it's kind of like homeless encampments where it's like some of them will set up like tarps over a tree, or some of them have like made little beds within the bushes because it's so thick. And so I think it depends on the girl you choose. She'll either like invite you into her tent, but you'll see them like they'll be having they'll be doing their makeup like in the forest, getting ready, and they're just standing there like waiting for you. But I just remember seeing like a couple of guys. There's one in particular. I remember I was just walking, and then there was like this giant bush, and he just came out of the fucking bush. And he had a 3-piece suit on, and he like fixed his tie, and he grabbed his briefcase, and then he kind of looked around to make sure like nobody saw, and then he like quickly walked down the sidewalk. And I was like, dude, like
you're just like mind fucked.
I was like, I just want to go to this park. And so, do you have something to say, Rob?
No, I was just gonna say, since you watched the documentary on this thing, if prostitution is legal in France, are they just in the forest for the vibes, or like why would they be hiding?
You know, I've still yet to figure out why they've all chosen this forest. It's just like a known thing.
It's got to be some kind of nature thing.
Yeah, I don't know the reasoning. I haven't looked into that, but they like this forest. And so we're walking, and it's like it's a lot because there's these naked women that are just like, you know, we will fuck you. And so, but then
we will fuck you.
we get to one of the side entrances of the chateau, the park, and it's quite big. And then it's funny because you walk to the park, and then there's like families around and like people walking their babies. And I'm like, okay, that's so crazy. But we actually had come in the back route, and then because the French people have cars, they could drive up to the front of the park, and they don't have to see the prostitutes. But I happen to have to walk around. But then when we were leaving, we had to walk back through the forest, and there were these 2 Persian guys, I remember, and they were walking towards us, and one of them thought that my boyfriend at the time had paid for me, and he was like, oh, like, we love her tattoos, like, can we pay for her? And I was like,
oh, they were trying to buy you. They were trying to buy it.
And like I was fully clothed in like a t-shirt and jeans and sneakers, and we're just like walking, and I was like, and they're speaking French, so it's like my ex was trying to, you know, tell me what they were saying, and I was kind of offended. I was like, excuse me, no. And
imagine your ex was like, how much
and then they were trying to say, well, if we can't spend money to have time with her, can we at least spend money to like take a picture with her? And then I said, no, absolutely not. And then that was it. And then they walked off into the forest to find whatever girls they were wanting. But yes, there is a prostitute-filled forest on the edge of Paris.
I want to go.
It's insane. I've never seen anything like it.
I was going to say, if we ever get this channel to pop off, we will travel to this forest with the money we make and make a video on it.
It's worth it just to see it because it's so bizarre. It's like out of a film.
I want the girl on the weeping willow.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's just crazy because it wasn't like a beautiful forest. It was rough. So it's like they're inviting you to like fuck on the leaves. Like it's.
I fucked in the woods before. We good.
I've done it in a cemetery.
But it's
that's fucking weird. Holding onto a headstone. That's so fucked up.
I actually feel bad about it now. It quite literally was on like top of somebody's grave.
Oh, that's pretty brutal, dude. That's pretty brutal.
It was,
I don't know if I could do that.
I was a young douchebag. At the cemetery, there's a grave that's basically it's like a big square out of like brick or like cement, like mausoleum, and then there's basically a building that's the grave. It's just like one square room.
Yeah, it's like a crypt. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a little window in the back you can hop up and jump into, and
you can get inside the inside. That's freaky, dude.
There's a window.
That's
There's basically like an open window. It's supposed to be up high, but you can kind of climb. It's it's a little hard to you can climb up. But yeah, we did it in this crypt basically.
Oh my god,
Wow.
bro! What would you do? You're banging his. starts jerking you off. You're like, oh my god! I didn't know you were wearing rings before.
It's one of those things that in the moment I'm like, yeah, this is cool, and then now like later I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, that's probably
you're like, it's cool, and then you come and you're like, oh man, we just fucked somebody's mausoleum.
Exactly. Like this person's probably haunting me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, they probably are. All the bad things that have happened to you is this person. You fucked on my grave.
What's funny is this happened after no, nothing notably bad has happened to me since doing it. This has already been after what I would consider like the worst point of my time. But yeah, the woods, at least the woods are like not, I don't know, it sounds peaceful out there.
Yeah, I
would
mean,
go. I
but
would
then I
love
will
to go.
say that like some of the girls do have pimps because
Yeah.
on the road there were a number of vans like every a couple hundred feet, and I think you could be invited to go in a van, but like I think the pimps also ran the van, so they would drop the girls off, like go pick your branch. And then
France,
They
How
should make
badass.
prostitution. They should make prostitution legal. I don't know why it's such a big deal.
how
mean-
badass could any French pimp be? Like, I'm pretty sure I could beat any French guy's ass.
Yeah, they slap you with a fucking leather glove, like you don't pay you fucking bitch. Papa.
here,
They like
I'm gonna
they
post
throw like
it.
hot espresso on you, like just a little.
I'm thinking like just lay out a white sassy glove slap by a mustached guy.
how do I
I,
send a link in the chat? Do I need to-
Just copy and paste it.
Well, it's saying private chat.
I mean,
go
you
to
could do
live
that.
chat.
You
Here,
could do that too.
it's not letting me type in the live chat. Just the here. I'm gonna. Maybe you can pull this photo up that I'm gonna send.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
You think?
It's just like I tried. There's only so few photos, but you can kind of see like in that brief instant what goes on. So it's like a guy riding his bike, and then there's a girl there in a bra,
shit.
and she's
It's
just
just
standing
open
there.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
so it's
fucking
like that. So
great.
you're walking your dog or whatever, and then every couple feet there's a girl, and she'll pull you like behind that tree, and then you'll do it there, and you'll pay her.
She looks hot. She looks hot as fuck.
So
You can
It's
see a
like-
rack from the side of her, honestly.
Yeah, her tits are huge. Yeah.
yeah, no, but a lot of them would just wear.
How is this
like,
guy fucking focusing on riding his bike? I'd
because
have
it's so
my little.
common.
I'd have my little fucking biker shorts around my ankles. I'd be like, you know what I mean? I'd have my Live Strong bracelet on, and I'd be like, screw this bike thing.
Yeah, but
All right, we have our
Amazing.
next. The title of the stream is now Manson's ex-fiance, a Trump gal, is Abe Lincoln, gay French whores in the woods.
Yes. I love it, dude. That's fucking great.
I'm pretty sure whore is yeah. I mean,
Fucking yeah. Can you put that?
our society. Yeah, remember we were
Here,
talking about
I
how
don't
the internet
know
loves sex. Like all
if
sex stuff is
whore-
okay.
All of a sudden, our views jump to like 150, and then
Yeah,
I sent another photo. It's smaller. There's
I can't zoom in
They
on that
don't-
one.
did you?
yeah,
Did you,
it's hard.
did you pull that picture up? How can you do that yourself?
Me?
Oh, you did it. I thought she did it.
No, I'm doing it. I'm trying to figure out how to
That's
zoom into
amazing.
this thing now.
I don't know.
The French people are pretty wild, and if you look up, there's this beach, this French beach that like people go to have gangbangs and shit. You ever hear about that? Seriously, here it's crazy. French beach gangbang.
But it's like that. Yeah.
the
That
fuck
girl's
is
a
it?
little too thick for me. I can't lie.
Yeah, there aren't really that many photos. I'm sure there's
Cape
legalities.
Cape d'Ag is like a beach where swingers will go and like guys gangbang their wives. She's too thick for you, dude. What do you mean?
I told you I need girls that look like they'll blow away in the wind. I mean, that's my preferred. I've been with some thick girls, but
Dude, she's thick. Like, put me behind that tarp. Let's go. Shit. And she's got I love like the goth, I love when they're like so pale, they got like the blue titty veins. Like you can see like the titty veins through it. Like she's got the dark hair, like hell yeah, sign me up. I will take her out of the business and behind an oven cooking me dinner. Like, let's go. Like, I will turn you into a housewife. Let's go.
Oh, that's so funny.
Blue titty veins all day.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a big career out there, prostitution.
Yeah, but I mean, it's sad because like you don't know who's gonna be coming up on you, like some fucking 400-pound fucking slob, like lick my balls, you know, like what the hell?
But
like,
I mean, there's also like so many of those girls. It was actually ridiculous the sheer amount of them. So it's like I'm sure they kind of fight over who gets work or not, you know.
Crazy. I need to look more into this.
It's like it's kind of on a main road, so I'm sure like some of these guys, they're just walking to work and they're like, oh well, why don't I just do this on the way?
Great.
You
I think
know,
that's
just
great. Yeah.
Put their briefcase in the car, go in.
That's wild.
And then
I can't believe she's too thick for you. What is wrong with you?
I just love how I like you'd see a guy coming out of the woods in like his suit, and then he's like brushing off the leaves. Like, I gotta go to work now.
It's just my I don't want to say like unhealthy taste, but I'm skinny, so I've always preferred like the skinniest girls available. I've been with some thicker girls, but if you know, that's usually not my like preferred. If I have it my way, I am with a girl that looks like she's gonna die in a week of like starvation.
She's a prostitute in burning leaves.
What is okay? I think I found another photo.
I think our buddy left the chat.
Thank God.
What an event!
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, it's cool if we can bounce off each other. I'll respect you. It's just Jesus is a woman, is black. Like, you're just spewing nonsense. Like, I've hung out with people that smoke crack that sound better than what you're saying. Like, and it's not even. I don't care what people believe in. We've already established that. You could believe in, like whatever. The spaghetti monster. I don't care. But like, you're just spewing bullshit like left and right, and
He was typing way too fast. I was like, dude, we can't even keep up.
It was a woman, 41-year-old fucking, I'm married to a black Jesus woman.
You need to see this photo if you can make it larger.
Yeah, let me
this
pull
one.
Where are you
I
sharing
think
this?
I only have the option to type in a private chat.
You know what? So that girl, that's not as skinny as I'm talking about, but but 100%, I would take that.
Oh, damn.
Like, these guys are going for a fucking jog.
Why does it look like she has like prosthetic legs? Like, what's going on with her legs?
I don't know. I think she's wearing like thigh high.
This is
socks.
what a wild concept, right? Like,
yeah. No,
like,
it's crazy.
Dude, imagine you're walking.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say, like, you see how thick that forest is? Like, it's not an easy fleet to just walk in there. It's extremely secluded, but it's, you're going to get hit with branches and brush.
I wonder if anybody's been like murdered doing this or like.
Oh, I'm sure.
And like, I'd love to hear like, all right, it's like getting dark and you hear like, come on, don't you want to fuck? Like, yeah, sure. And then you go in the woods and you get fucking killed.
Well, they have the pimps nearby too in the van. So yeah, I'm sure there's some shady.
Like, whatever happened to the old fucking roadway in, the in and out? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm very curious about these French pimps. I just want to know how badass are French guys.
I didn't see them. They were in the vans, but yeah, there were any kind of girl you could imagine. There were hundreds of them. Some, as I said, were sitting on branches and doing their makeup and their hair.
Okay, there's definitely some videos. There's like Pornhub videos of this.
Oh,
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah. French harlot fucked in prostitution forest.
Oh,
dude, 220. He's got a blanket down for her and everything.
Be careful with those thumbnails.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do more research in this later.
Yeah, okay.
Old sexy hitchhiker whore from prostitution forest in France. Fucked.
But I mean, if you think about it, like
Wow.
them using
There it
the
is.
forest, yeah, that like them using the forest instead of like a brothel. I mean, that saves so much money because you're just dropping them off in a park. You know, you're saving like the cost of housing essentially.
Yeah, you're just like, and you don't gotta like, you need no paper towels. You just the woods floor.
Yeah,
whatever.
like it's all there. And then the park next door with the chateau, they have public restrooms too. So they could go clean up. You know, I guess it's just the girls just have to pay for themselves, and then the pimps, I would assume, pay for the cost of gas for the van.
Or the condoms, if they use condoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we?
So
Are we? I feel like this was a wild topic. Are we segueing into something else? Or are we still?
yeah, we can talk about so do you guys know about Tiger King?
So yeah, that I don't.
Sexploitation?
I didn't even get to read up like I was supposed to about it.
Do you know anything about it, Rob?
I know of it. I didn't watch it. I know that it was basically the only thing that happened during COVID, aside from
Yeah.
the there was one true crime case that happened that I kind of call like the true crime case of COVID, and it's that missing girl, Gabby Petito.
Oh
All-
my God, they really went on about that.
All that happened during COVID was the Gabby Petito case and Tiger King. So that's all I know about Tiger King.
Yeah. I love how
Gabby
like
Petito. Why does that sound so familiar?
it was the girl where her boyfriend like killed her on a road trip.
Oh yeah.
Florida
It-
couple.
It was an entertaining saga to keep up with. There was a big curveball when Dog the Bounty Hunter got involved and went helping.
That was so ridiculous.
By the way, I was a big Dog the Bounty Hunter fan. I have his autobiography actually. I was a big fan of Dog the Bounty
I
Hunter.
was
when
not
was a kid.
expecting you to say that. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, I loved that motherfucker. But yeah, it was an interesting case to keep up with. It was very obvious, and I hate to talk about like any tragic story this way, but the fact that it was kind of obvious and predictable made it kind of like a perfect story for like true crime nerds to keep up with during COVID, because the COVID time was terrible and nothing was happening. And
I just love how like 2 weeks into that, they made a documentary on CNN. It was like an hour long.
well, they made a documentary because she was so those news outlets and like content creation companies, they love, because she was a social media, her whole life was on social media, so that you don't have to pay for anything. So that's why you'll notice whenever there's a true crime case and one of the main people involved in the case is like a frequent uploader to social media, they make that shit pretty quick, because all they got to do is they go pull all the footage off of her Instagram or her TikTok, or because she did the whole van life thing, which by the way, only people with rich parents do
Right.
van life.
They're nepo babies. for
I've
sure.
noticed that people that do van life and Los Angeles YouTubers / podcasters all have rich parents.
Mhm.
This
That
is
is
like a
true.
thing. This is the biggest roadblock in me trying to get this YouTube channel thing going. Is that I don't have rich parents, which shows you why my background is just a bedroom and I've got like a $300 microphone and like that's why we're not in a studio right now in Los Angeles. Because
How cool would that be? Fucking A, man. That'd be
Oh.
so cool.
I would trade lives with a kid with rich parents any day.
Right.
But yeah, Tiger King. Tiger King was the only other thing that happened during COVID. It was miserable. I refused to watch it. I do like the meme going around now where he's like, I called for help twice. Not a fuck you or nothing. When I like it when it's like when the mom forgets to turn on the baby monitor so she doesn't hear the baby crying, and it shows him in the crib going, I called for help twice. Not a fuck you or nothing. Like
Carol fucking Baskin. That fucking
Yeah.
bitch, Carol fucking Baskin.
that's the other name that came out during the time was Carol Baskin. People
Yeah.
I
say
never
you're,
seen
you're,
it. I've
you're
never
ask-
seen it, but
you're
I should
asking
have.
for a Baskin. That was a big one.
Well,
So-
okay, so I actually have a background working with exotic animals. So when I watched it, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people in the like animal community were completely outraged by what was in the documentary, because he was exploiting these animals and exploiting the people because he felt like he had power because he owned tigers. And at least from like my experience working with animals, I definitely think all of what was shown in Tiger King was very truthful, because I'm not going to say any names because a lot of the people that I used to work with still follow me. But I do feel that like there is a part of the exotic animal community where people do use one another because they have the ability to work with exotic, cats and animals. And so they'll use that to, gain power over others. And especially like use sex as a means to gain power. From my experience, so I worked for a couple of years at an exotic animal sanctuary that actually no longer exists, but there were roughly about 500 plus different animals, and I primarily worked with the primates. But there were a lot of things that would go on that I would hear amongst everybody about how, so and so would fuck so and so they could walk one of the lions, because they would actually take these animals on walks throughout the sanctuary. Yeah.
What's up with the main question I've always had is what's up with sexual deviants and their love for tigers and lions? Like why
You know what? I have always wondered that too, because when I worked there, I was a part of the primate team, and I thought the cat people were so weird. People were like, oh, I have to be in with the tigers and the lions. They wanted to be in that crowd. And so some women would, have sex with the higher ups to be able to pet a tiger and say, oh, I walked this one today. And I don't know. It's to me, I equate it almost like cat people, people just love felines, and some people just fucking love large cats, and they'll do anything to be around them.
You're willing to have sex in order to walk a fucking cat? Like,
listen, it was weird. I was like, listen, I'm just here to hang out with the chimpanzees. Leave me alone. But there was a lot of that going on, where people were having sex with one another in like the porta potties, and like just doing like
from the woods to the porta potty. Like, what the hell? Yeah, and I know loosely what that Tiger King thing was based on was like there's a lot of drug usage and like that line of work. Like everybody's like on some kind of stimulant, probably because it's a lot of work and you need energy to.
It is a lot of work. I mean, it's realistically, it's all manual labor, because all you're doing is you're getting up, at 4 a.m. and then you're cleaning enclosures and you're feeding these animals. So a lot of it is just literally cleaning up shit all day long.
Sounds like a nightmare. What made you want to do this?
Well, so I originally went to school for primatology. I just really like primates, and I was, I went to school for anthropology. And so I was able to get an opportunity to work at the sanctuary, and I got my in with the primates. But my role was I was one of the primate enrichment supervisors. Now, by law, I think it varies by each state, but at least here, primates need to have enrichment every day, because out in the wild, they're so used to, moving fast and doing whatever they want. So enrichment is things that, keep their mind going, like toys and games. So I was one of those girls that had to create little toys for them and snacks, which was fun. But the cat people, I just couldn't understand. They were a whole other level of strangeness.
Yeah, like they had pictures of like that Tiger King guy with like his boyfriend, and then the boyfriend's boyfriend, and they're all like, And that dude, that guy Rob that writes to all those people, bro, his thing is like Brogel Badass or whatever.
Jay.
He wrote to the Tiger King, and he has a letter that he sent them. He's like, Jay, thanks for the love and support. Love you, kid. Or something like, make sure to vote for me. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, he's like, sending my love, like all this shit. Like, he was telling them to vote for him in the 2024 election or something. Like,
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like when it comes to the large cats, there is a level of power that you probably feel that you are around this essentially this massive beast, because I've been around those animals up close and personal, and I mean, to me it was fucking terrifying, because at any moment, at the end of the day, they're still wild animals and they can lose their shit and kill you. There were incidences, I wasn't there, thank God, where an animal would get out and it's like all hell would break loose. You would have to hide, and because they could kill you. So
yeah. I've always wondered what the attraction is with eccentric people and like the big cats, basically.
yeah, I don't know. It's it was
Why does it
it
say
was something
convention?
else. But there was one time I remember where they sent me up to go clean the cats enclosures, and I to this day I'm still traumatized, because it was just like it was terrifying, because when it came to the primates, they would actually take them out and then you would go in and clean them, because some of them were quite small. But the cats, you couldn't let them out. You basically had to use these giant tools and like kind of scrape everything out. And so I remember one day where one of the guys was like, "Oh, can you just do this for me? Like, you'll be fine." And I'm thinking like, yeah, me alone with about like 12 tigers. Okay, yeah, let's see how this goes. So I go up there and they're all in like their individual enclosures, but there was one I remember where they were just having a bad day and they weren't feeling good for whatever reason, and I had taken this like giant pole to get through the enclosure to kind of get their water bowl out, and he wasn't having it, and then he leaped onto the cage, and so it's like myself and then like a foot away from me, just with like this like thin fencing between us, is this giant 500
that.
pound. Yeah, and he's like grabbing on and he's just like roaring, and I was like, nope, down the hill I ran. I was like, see you later.
Yeah,
So,
and
but some
monkeys.
people like love that shit. Some people are like, that's what they get off to. But I was like, no, I'll go with the monkeys. They're a
I
little.
always wanted like one of them, like capuchin monkeys, or like a
Oh, a
spider monkey,
capuchin, yeah.
or what is it, the howler monkeys? They're cool as shit.
The
Like,
spider monkeys
Yeah.
freak me the fuck out.
really,
They just look so fucking creepy. But even
I think they're cool as hell looking.
some monkeys I like. Like I like chimpanzees and gorillas are bad. But some even small monkeys can fuck you up. Monkeys
Oh
are.
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
All
person
monkeys
I-
are like pure muscle.
there's
Yeah.
a person I follow on Instagram is it's like Spider Monkey Kiki or something. It's just this girl who lives in Georgia who made her whole backyard this like thing. And dude, this fucking little spider monkey will literally swing from a fucking thing on the ground up to the top of her roof. Like just like with
Yeah.
one swing. Like, it's just so amazing how they have that fucking
It's just muscle.
power.
Yeah.
I would love. I've always wanted to be one of those guys that gets some vicious animal as a baby, and then they grow up with you, so they look like. I would love to inherit like a baby bear, and then the bear grows up with you, feed it, and then you have a huge bear that loves you and like hangs out
But
with you and
see,
shit.
that was the thing, is a lot of the animals that were at the sanctuary was because of that, where people thought, oh, let me get one as a baby. And then they grow up and they try to eat you because their animal instincts come in. And so then they have to give them away to a sanctuary.
You gotta establish dominance. I'd fuck my baby bear up just to let him know who's the man, and then when he gets big, I'll fuck him up. I don't give a fuck.
Like, I do remember there was one tiger specifically where it was some case where they had found him, like the police found him on like piles of cocaine. Like some dealer had a fucking baby tiger, of course. And then, of course, the police confiscated the cat, and then it wound up at the sanctuary. But it was a lot of that.
You know what's funny is like me and Annie were talking earlier about like pull up a story to like a news story, a current event to talk about, and you're talking about monkeys, and the story that I pulled, you said look up India news, and it's about this monkey. It says monkey rams bus into 2 cars in India. Yeah, this monkey, like, I don't mean to cut your story off,
No,
but
no,
like,
go ahead.
but it said monkeys are mortal enemies to most people in India because they steal and shit, you know, like they're like just trying to survive. And the news article is monkey from Bareilly, India steals a bus and smashed it into 2 other buses before the driver could regain control. I don't know, it's just this article, but that's the bus that he stole. He's fucking anyway.
I
That's a cool
believe
bus.
that.
Yeah, it is. It's like a Grateful Dead like hippie bus, but like the fucking little monkey. I can just picture him like with like a mouthful of banana, just like fucking, you know, just smashing into shit. They're like, Annie left the enclosure open. Let's get the fuck out of here. You know.
Monkeys are cool. Monkeys are cool. Some of them are scary. Of course,
But
I think gorillas are like the coolest.
Fuck you
when
up.
I worked with the chimps though, that was interesting because some of the women that I worked with had been working with the chimps for like years and years, and some of the chimps were there since they were babies. And chimps, I guess, because I think chimps are like 5 to 10 times stronger than man. They have enormous amounts of power, especially when they are babies. They don't realize their strength. And so I remember there was one woman that had been with one of the chimps since the chimp was a baby, and she was missing like 4 fingers. Like, I kid you not, like this was her life. Like, she was missing the nubs. So she was always in that like rock. But no, I'm dead serious. There were a couple people that were like missing, you know, parts of their fingers because the chimps would just grab it like playfully, but it's like, you know.
Yeah, they're like, I'm doing it all for my babies.
Yeah.
You know, like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
I love animals. I'm a huge animal lover, but when it comes to like your safety to, you know, safety to, you know, whatever, I'm not a.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sacrificing fingers just to do that shit.
Yeah. Do it all for the love of the animal.
No, but the smaller primates were cool. Like I did work with some capuchins and spider monkeys.
Yeah, they're cute
the
as
spider
hell.
monkeys were so fucking loud though. It was just a bit much. But
they got them long fingers.
Yes,
long
fingers. The capuchins were cool though because they used tools. So that was kind of cool to like witness like an early man situation because they would like take rocks to try to like open things up. And I'm like, wow, this is super cool. And then baboons and stuff like that. But the chimps were just they were crazy because there were like 50 of them together. They came from like a lab in New York and they were being tested on.
Fucked up. That's so fucked up.
It was really fucked up. But
I hate humans, man. The way they just treat animals is so fucking wrong.
Yeah,
like,
they had been testing like vaccines on them. So like some of them were fucked up and then some of them were fine.
That should be illegal. I'm pretty sure it is illegal.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a number of those animals, they came from really like horrible situations. But then it's kind of like, you know, they go from like one horrible situation to the next. So then it's like, they're not being tested on anymore, but you're stuck in a cage for the rest of your life, which is like the reason why I left, because I was like, this is actually really fucking depressing. As much as I'm like doing, you know, like good work and like helping these animals, at the end of the day, it's like super depressing to know like they're never going to leave this fucking cage. So, you know, but I mean, that's kind of like the argument within like the animal community. Like people always ask like, what do you think of zoos? And there's always the argument of like, well, zoos are good because, you know, the animals that are in there cannot go back into the wild, and, you know, you're educating the public. Like I see the good reasons for zoos, but I also just don't like going to the zoo because it's horrible to see these wild animals that are just stuck in there because of man, you know?
I agree.
So yeah. That's my my animal spiel. But yeah, there is a lot of like sexploitation, at least from my experience, which is crazy. But people want to, you know, have sex to be able to pet a tiger.
Yeah, it's weird. The people that those fucking cats attract.
I gotta go buy a tiger. Like, you wanna walk the tiger, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You have to
it
meet
is
me
a
out
thing.
in these French woods.
Yeah,
yeah, it's actually just a stuffed tiger. Like,
yeah.
you told me, well, I didn't say what kind of tiger it was.
No, it's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you do eventually watch Tiger King,
I'm
yeah,
going to.
that
I'm
is
going
what
to.
it's like. So when they talk about like, oh, like they were having sex with so and so to be able to like hang out with the cats, yep, that was what was happening.
So weird.
It
So
is
fucking
extremely weird. It is so weird. But yeah, it's just
Manson's
Yeah.
ex-fiance, Trump gal, tigers, monkeys, Abe Lincoln's gay, French whores in the woods.
yeah.
I might add the animal one. I might leave it as is. I don't know.
I think it's good the way it is.
I don't want to make it too long because then it gets, but it's already eye catching enough. I could add a whole
That's definitely eye catching. If I was scrolling, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I also did check just now. Our friend Elijah did not subscribe to the channel, so that's a bummer.
Oh, darn.
I was hoping. I love his comments. Not only am I Elijah, I am the literal bride of Christ. Like,
what the fuck?
My wedding.
Okay, no, go ahead.
My wedding is already paid for and will be broadcasted all over the world.
You know what's crazy is that person sounds so fucking insane that imagine you hear about something on the news and you're like, that fucking person was in my
chat. But do you think that they're just like crazy and that's what they believe, or it's just some random guy on the internet just spewing bullshit?
No, there's something mentally wrong with that person. There's no way that you could sit here and tell me that you're the bride of Jesus, and it's just nonsense. And like,
I mean, the level of like how fast they were typing makes
something
me
wrong with them.
They typed out like a Word document and then like copy and pasted it everywhere.
He was saying that his comments were taking like 5 minutes to get to us. Which I know some people have said there's a few second delay. I've never heard 5 minutes though, but
yeah, but like, dude, I'm totally cool with like, I welcome that shit. Like, that's great for people to interact and people that are different. It's awesome, and I'm cool with that. But like, you're not answering our questions. You're just saying like, you're spewing bullshit. Like, instead of just answering, oh, I'm 41 and the reason why I believe this is because this, or my background is this. Like, instead, you're just spewing like meth fucking fuels.
I loved how he said he cannot listen to Michael Jackson, but he can listen to Kanye West.
Yeah, like, you make no sense right there. Shows your,
And the best part is that nobody even asked him. We just said, can you listen to Michael Jackson? And he goes, no. And then he said, and then he volunteered the information that he can listen to Kanye West. Like, I never brought up Kanye West.
And then I started, like, he doesn't know that that's me. It was me in the comments going like, Jesus is king. He's a male. You're mistaken. Like,
I like having you as like a secret assassin in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going for. He's like, not only, fucking false accusations.
I was commenting back and forth with him for a minute. I tried to challenge him, but I was trying to listen to Annie's story too. I asked how old he was. You can see the ones that are from me or from the channel. He said 41. He said, I am marrying Jesus that returns as a woman. No, ... Transgender is not when people transition. Transgender is when people are born that way. And then I commented back and said, I'm already married to Jesus. And I'm thinking this person's going to get that I'm fucking with him, but he literally replied, you aren't. Jesus returns as a black woman to marry me. She will reveal herself at the appointed time. So I said, I'll play you at a game of chess for Jesus' hand in marriage. And he never responded to my challenge. So as far as I'm concerned, this guy's a pussy. He won't even play me at a game of chess. I would destroy him. I would checkmate his ass in 15 moves or less. Elijah, I'm calling you out. If you want your wedding broadcast on this channel, you need to play me at a game of chess, or I'm going to take your fucking black woman Jesus from you. I'll do it right in front of you. I will cuck you out. I will upload it to the internet. I don't give a fuck.
Fucking wild. This was a wild one.
I love Dragon Slayer. His name is just Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, not know.
That's like, yeah, something's going on with them.
Definitely weird.
It was perfect.
You did write it in the title, French horse in the woods.
Yeah, whore is an okay word. You can put any word in the title, really.
I mean, that would suck if they took the. I mean, they wouldn't take it down, right?
No, the internet loves whores.
I love horse. I love horse too.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
it's like how Instagram loves naked girls. You can't make a Jeffrey Dahmer joke, but a naked girl is totally fine.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, a whore is totally
I
fine.
mean, there's still somebody watching in here. There's one other person besides me. I don't know who.
Probably just my mom.
Or somebody I follow because or follows me because the people that like read my story are like one of them is like somebody I don't talk to anymore, and I'm like they're definitely seeing what I'm up to. Like, I would love to be able to post this to Facebook, but I'd be too worried about people I like work with seeing it.
There's if I could post it to Facebook. Honestly, I just don't post this stuff on my personal stuff because I don't have friends in real life. That's like half the reason I had to make a second page, because I could post it all day to my personal. I did post this to my personal Instagram a couple days ago. I posted just for no reason. I posted the links for the Instagram pages, and then I posted a clip from the YouTube page. And yeah, like all my old friends that like 10 years ago would have jumped and been like, "Oh, you're doing this," is none of them give a fuck. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way that we'll start to get more views and shit is that just throwing it out there, and the hashtags. I'm grateful you do all this shit because I have no energy to edit shit or so we're grateful for that.
I don't either. That's why I'm still uploading shit from the Rob Zombie, like Devil's Reject.
Yeah, but you still do it, which is cool.
This one I have to clip out the Callie because I have to tweet at Callie Roses now and let her know that I got the shirt.
Dude, if you can get her on here, that would be fucking sick. That would be so sick.
I just want to have something. Like I need to have, I don't know, like at least between like 5,000 and 10,000 subscribers. I think so. She is big on social media, but her YouTube channel doesn't have a lot. She has like
Does she still do porn or is she out of it?
She does OnlyFans. She books herself. She does OnlyFans. So she has 8.8. She has 8,000 subscribers, almost 9. So if I can match her in YouTube subscribers, then I'll feel more comfortable straight up asking her. I could be around 5, but
I posted on my Facebook like what you posted about people like with talent or artists that want to be like that. I didn't post what the page was because my boss follows me. I don't want him seeing like
let's bring your boss on.
Oh my god, yeah. But so I posted that just as like, and nobody reached out, but
I hate complaining about it because I'm really not complaining about it as like a boo-hoo, I deserve to be YouTube famous. It's just like a genuine. I've been dealing with this since my last music project I ever did was with a girlfriend like years ago. It's like impossible to get anyone to give a fuck about what you're doing anymore. And it's like
people are selfish as fuck. And like, dude, I don't know. To me, like, this is like, if you're into the kind of shit we're talking about, you throw it on while you're driving and just listen to it. Like, it's entertaining for sure. I'll put podcasts on that are random.
Well, to me, it's not even that. To me, it's just like, dude, people that I like have been friends with since high school or like whatever. I mean, I won't anymore because they don't do the same for me. But usually, or how I would have been, is if anybody that I fucking knew or that I'm like friends with on Facebook or follow, if they post a link to some shit, it takes 2 seconds to go hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. It'll never bother you again. I'll have to watch your shit, but just subscribing to the channel does a bunch of help. I'll like your Instagram page. Like I don't care. I might not like your shit at all, but just because, I met you one time and you were nice to me. Yeah, fuck it all. It takes me 4 seconds to click this fucking thing and like it.
It's like support. It's like the same way you'd support a small business or something.
Can't we do this on Twitch?
Yeah, I need to make a Twitch channel.
Like, wouldn't we be more successful on there?
And that fucking weird guy that I told you about that used to do Judas Priest videos, but now he's like does weird fitness shit. He's on TikTok, and that's where his live he gets like the most views is on TikTok live. So that's something to think about.
I have a TikTok. I hate TikTok, but I do.
Can you do something like this on TikTok though? Like, or is it?
Yeah.
I could stream the stream that we have going right now. I could simultaneously send it to. I don't know if I could do TikTok right now. On my options, I have the YouTube, which we're streaming to. I could also do it to Twitch, to Twitter Live if I wanted to, and Facebook Live. And
I feel like Twitch would be good. I know a couple of people.
There is TikTok too. I can with what I'm paying for my plan, I can simultaneously broadcast to 5 platforms. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5. Yeah, so I could do YouTube, Twitch, TikTok if I wanted to. My
So
cousin makes a killing on Twitch. I know I mentioned that. And Twitch has a whole category for like just talking or whatever. So yeah, we just be one of those just talking.
does so this works better, I think, the laptop sounding with all of us for me.
Yeah, you don't cut out. Eventually whenever I fucking am like not whenever I am like not lazy and leave the house, I damn near might try to force this microphone on you at some point. But
Yeah, I'll take it.
as far as you not cutting, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Right.
Which
I'm gonna eventually buy a new webcam too. I mean, I'm pretty broke right now, but fucking this quality on this laptop is straight. This is a brand new laptop. Like, this is weird that it's like this.
whenever you want to, let me know. I'll send you my webcam's like $100, or it was $100, and it's 1080p. My stream is only in 720p because I don't want to pay as much as this website sucks. You got to pay a lot for the 1080. But the webcam itself is it's like a good, and it's only $100. You can get a cheap camera nowadays.
Yeah, I've seen that on Amazon. I could probably just buy one. I appreciate it. Lastly, I'll digress. I went and seen Smashing Pumpkins last night, and they fucking sound amazing still. Billy Corgan still kicks ass. I just wanted to say, I know we all listen to similar music, but I was like, I was listening to like their other shows in like Texas, and I was like, wow, they don't sound that good. Let me tell you, they sounded fucking amazing last night. Like, I'm talking like their 90s selves, like, sounded amazing.
Wow.
Stuff always. I feel like stuff sounds better live. Anytime I ever watch like YouTube videos of a band playing live, I'm like, but then you actually go see them, and live just sounds so different then.
Dude, and like that's a strong statement to say like they sound like themselves in the 90s, and they really fucking did. Like, his voice was phenomenal, and dude, their guitar solos and drum solos was just fucking amazing. And I was able to I moved up closer because there was like empty, it wasn't sold out. I was surprised. So I moved up closer, and I was pretty close. Like, you've seen the video, but they sounded great. It was just funny though, like, I don't know who the one chick is. Like, it's a totally new band besides them, you know, the three of them, but like there's other people they have randomly. Like, the bassist is new, obviously, and there's some girl in the back. She was like randomly she looks so stupid. She was like holding a microphone, and it'd be like, yeah, cool, and like she'd pretend to be playing the guitar, but she's just strumming. I don't know if it was like his wife that he just threw up there or what, but it was pretty interesting. It was a really good show.
You gotta have the girl backup singer.
Yeah, it was really, really good though. It was funny though, seeing all these little like young ass kids wearing like, you know, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness shirt. They have no idea like what they're even wearing. Like, these kids are like, you know, 12 years old. And I'm like, man, these kids have no idea. I mean, it's cool that they're into that music, and it's actually gives you hope that they're into that shit, but it's just funny. Like, I'm like, man, I grew up with all this shit. It's pretty cool.
I've noticed old music seems to be cooler with kids. Like, when I was in high school, it wasn't cool to be into old music. But now, like, I talk to kids like Jay and this other kid that I talked to on the Instagram, and they're all into, like, Jay really likes the Doors and Jim Morrison, and
hell yeah,
all these kids, like, you know, it's almost like old stuff is cool
because the shit now is trash, dude. Like, I wouldn't go to see a new fucking band if you paid me. Like, they're not. I hold on to the past, and it's like, it sucks because all the bands that I love, like, I'm never gonna see them in their, like, you know, their top of their game. Like, I went and saw Pantera, and like, you know, they were good, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't fucking 90s Pantera. It was, you know, it was Phil Insomno fat, and, you know, and then no Dimebag Darrell. They were good, but it wasn't, you know, just wasn't the same.
Yeah, no, shit's never gonna be the same. Music is missing the characters, I feel like, nowadays. Like, I'll find once in a while, I'll find a band that I think is cool. There's a band I really like called Static Dress. I think they're British, but they really are. It makes me think of like an early 2000s emo band. It makes me think of the band Dead Poetic, and like from first to last. But still, regardless, like, dude, there's never going to be another like John Lennon or a fucking Robert Plant or a Jimi Hendrix. The characters are totally dead.
But why is that? You know what I mean? Like, think about it. All those artists came at one time, dude. Like, you know, Jim Morrison, like you said, you know, Robert Plant, the fucking Jimmy Page, like all these fucking people, like, you know, Mick Jagger, they were in the same time period, and they, boom. Why now do we not get a prodigy like that?
Yeah.
Where are they? You know what I mean? That's fucking crazy to me.
It's fucking something in the water. I still consider the last, and this is probably just more like me personally, I consider Burt McCracken from The Used to be the last great, at least MTV rock star. He was the last big like MTV. You know, he was like on drugs for all his interviews and just like doing wild shit, like how rock stars are supposed to do. What I always say is, music or rock and roll is dead because overall, it's not worth it for like okay, like that band Static Dress I just mentioned. If Static Dress was on tour, right? No one here's heard of them except for me. If they were on tour and one of their members got arrested for on drug charges and put in jail, it would not be worth it for the management company to bail them out of jail.
Right.
Back in the day, dude, bands got bailed out of jail every night on tour because it was worth it to pay the money to bail them out and put them back on the road.
Yeah, they're making money.
Guns N' Roses, like Axl Rose was like hours late to sign his contract with Geffen Records. Nowadays, it's not worth it. They would say, no, fuck you, you're late, we're not signing you. Like, it's not even fucking worth it. Like, musicians aren't worth shit anymore. I would argue, like, maybe if Machine Gun Kelly went to jail, and Machine Gun Kelly is gay as fuck, let's be real. I fucking can't stand that guy. But maybe, like, if someone like him went to jail, his management might bail him out. That could be worth it to them. But generally, no, it's not worth it. They would just say, you fucked up, you're going to jail, we're dropping you, the tour's done. Back in the day, and I also say that because of Burt McCracken, and there was always, whenever The Used was on tour, they said whenever it was a normal day, they would end the day with Burt being in jail, and the manager would have to get off the bus and go pick him up and pay and get him out because it was worth it for the label to pay bail every night. But now it's not. It's just not. They're not worth shit. I blame the internet for a lot of it. The internet really killed like the music industry. Like
we got robbed of like that time. Like we got robbed of not being able to experience that time period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You got all these boomers that complain about shit. Well, guess what? You got to fucking go to Woodstock and see fucking Jefferson Airplane fucking live. Like, like real, like first Woodstock. Like you got to see like real cool shit. And they all complain about bullshit. Like, dude, I would trade anything to be able to just, see like those bands in their like height of that time period. Like fucking seeing Santana fucking on acid, like in Woodstock. Like, you know that video I'm talking about where he's on acid and he's like trying to like fight his guitar because it turned into a fucking snake. Like, dude, you got to experience that. Like, the fuck you crying about? Shit. We got Justin Bieber. What the fuck?
I would trade Justin Bieber to be able to hang out with my ex-girlfriend again.
Wait, what?
I'm kidding. I was hoping.
I'm starting to get loopy now. We've been on here for 2 hours. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
I was hoping the reaction from you guys was going to be okay, time to go, and then we all
click. On that note.
No, everyone just sucks now. I mean, I don't want to say everyone. Like I said, there's people I find that I do like. It's not horrible, but it's just not. There's no John Lennon.
Nope.
So next week we'll find some more interesting articles to talk about. More horrors in the woods.
Yeah.
I know you got Mark. Next week you need to tell a story. You always have fun.
I have so many like brutal stories that like I had a prostitution story that I wanted to use, but like I really like know that like my cousin and some people are watching. Like I have one, man. I have a pretty bad one. Yeah.
Okay, we want to hear it.
Yeah, I know you want to hear it.
You can use different names, so
man.
You don't have to say their names.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I was gonna say I still have a list of topics. I did a couple of them tonight. Yeah, no, we could. I don't know. One night we should just do like fucking story night and just be like, here's the story.
Yeah. I feel like the high school stories are always fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
those ones are good.
Before we go, we got to do a real quick shout out to white girls who wear cowboy boots when they go to the lake.
What?
Oh, we got to give a shout out to white girls who wear, those white girls that wear cowboy boots when they go to the lake and they get drunk with their friends.
Like the Hawk 2 girl.
Yeah, those are like my dream girls. And to help further paint this picture for you, these are the same girls that wear Uggs in the wintertime and in the fall time.
And they wear them with the little denim shorts. Yeah.
Or
Dude,
when
I
it's cold out, they wore the sweatpants or the leggings with the Uggs. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
always a shout out. Those are the best girls in the world.
That's so random. I went to Asheville, North Carolina, like for the first time, like last year. It's like a super like liberal, like I don't know, hipster town. And like all these girls got out of this like stretch limo, and they were in the fall, and they were all wearing the fucking same colored Uggs, the same colored fucking, checkered scarf, the fucking same like denim short or whatever denim dress thing. And I'm like, you guys look the fucking same, like carbon copy of each other.
Those are the best kind of
I mean,
girls.
they were all still hot as hell, but I'm like,
There's an alternate timeline right now where Annie's wearing Ugg boots and like those leggings that say pink on the butt.
yeah, we got to do like
I did wear Uggs in middle school, but that was another age, another time.
You can picture like Annie on like the Snapchat story where it's like they
That
take someone's look and they swap it, and then they show their boyfriend or something, and you'd be like, "This is me as dressed up in Victoria's Secret fucking like bullshit, like instead of the gothic like emo thing."
It would have to be her as a white girl drinking beer in the bed of a truck, listening to Luke Bryan with her friends at the lake.
Oh,
with a fucking John Deere hat on.
Yes. Those are the
we drank Four Locos at the park under the trees.
Remember those? Dude, they get you so fucked up, those things.
I drank a Four Loco for the 4th of July.
It was like a summer of Four Loco. And
yeah,
like, I forget what year it was, but it was specifically, there was one summer where, I don't know, maybe it was a summer it like came out, but like everybody was drinking them. And I just remember always drinking them in the extreme heat. And we were like in school, so you'd go to the park and drink, but you would hide in the trees. And then you're like sweating and
but that was the original
water.
The original Four Loco had caffeine in it.
Yeah.
And you drink two of them and you'd get blackout drunk. Like you'd fucking, I remember waking up on my neighbor's lawn and like them all, like, like the classic, like that shot where everyone's looking down at you. They're like, Mark, what the fuck? And I'm like, bring me home, and like, where am I? And they get a fucking knock on my door. My parents are like disgusted by me.
Yeah,
this fucking kid, my dad, like this fucking kid,
Four Locos are the best. They're still the best. It sucks without the caffeine.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to, man. They need to bring back malt liquor and caffeine.
Well, wasn't it because like somebody died?
People were having heart attacks.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's very dehydrating. But if you're not gonna have, if the risk of a heart attack is not present, I probably don't want to partake. That if it's not possibly going to give me a heart attack, it's probably not fun anyways. So just put the caffeine back in it.
Remember they used to like have those diet pills that have straight methamphetamine in them, and you're like, "That's fucking great! I lost 20 pounds in 2 fucking days." Like it's like the shit that worked, like I feel like people are like, that's when I knew this country was going downhill, when they took meth out of fucking diet pills.
Yeah, or when they took cocaine out of Coca-Cola, or when they took when Bayer stopped producing heroin drops for 10 cents for your kids' toothaches. Like,
Mike, I don't know if I mentioned this the last time, but like my grandpa was like very old school, like fucking smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, like old school, like thought you should smoke everywhere. And he's like, I knew this country was going downhill when you couldn't smoke on an airplane anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
Anyway, it's
I'm
11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so I'm gonna be up early. Unfortunately, there's girls fucking selling their bath water, making millions of dollars, and I gotta go to fucking bed. Sucks.
All right, guys, this was fun.
Yeah, it's been real.
With more stories next week.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do it again soon.